Princess Charlotte has become a symbol of this generational shift. Her public appearances have always been characterized by her poise and composure. But behind the polished image lies a young royal navigating the pressure of her circumstances. Will she embrace her role as part of William's vision for a modern monarchy? Or will she resist, seeking to carve out her own path? The question is one that no one can answer yet, but it's clear that Charlotte's reaction carries significant weight. Her silent struggle mirrors the very challenges facing the royal family. How to balance tradition with the demands of an evolving world. Meanwhile, Queen Camilla's struggle highlights another layer of this unfolding story. After decades of public scrutiny, Camilla's promotion to Queen Consort was meant to be the crowning moment of her journey. Yet as Prince William consolidates his power, Camilla finds herself increasingly sidelined. For someone who worked tirelessly to secure her place in the monarchy, her exclusion is both frustrating and symbolic. The younger generation, William and Catherine, have taken center stage, leaving Camilla questioning her legacy. While her title remains intact, her influence is fading, and many are left wondering if this marks the beginning of the end of her role as a key player in the monarchy. Behind closed doors, insiders suggest that King Charles and Camilla are facing growing strain in their relationship. As Charles leans on William and Catherine to lead, Camilla's frustrations have only deepened. While the public remains largely unaware of this silent battle, the cracks are becoming harder to ignore. Charles may have intended to secure the monarchy's future by elevating William, but in doing so, he has inadvertently left Camilla on the periphery. Will she fight to reclaim her place, or will she accept her diminishing role within the palace? The future of the monarchy hangs in the balance, and every decision made now will have lasting consequences. Princess Charlotte, a key to the monarchy's future. Princess Charlotte's story is more than just a footnote in the royal family's journey. It's a reflection of the delicate balance between old traditions and the new world William is working to create. At such a young age, Charlotte is already grappling with the pressures of being part of one of the world's most watched families. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains, how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, this moment is testing her in ways that no young royal should have to endure. As William continues to reshape the monarchy's role in the modern world, Charlotte must find her footing amidst the chaos. Her journey is not just personal, it is symbolic of the greater challenges facing the royal family. Can Charlotte embrace the responsibilities that come with her position? Or will she push back against the weight of her family's expectations? Will she step forward and become an integral part of William's vision? Or will she quietly resist the changes that threaten to redefine her role? The choices she makes in these formative years could have far-reaching consequences, not only for herself, but for the monarchy as a whole. The royal family's journey has always been one of evolution, but the stakes have never been higher. With Prince William's decisions shaking the very foundation of the monarchy, the spotlight now falls on Charlotte. Her silent struggle represents more than just a personal challenge. It's a reflection of the monarchy's future. The decisions made today will shape the family's legacy for generations, and Charlotte is at the center of it all. Will she embrace her role as a modern royal, or will the pressures of palace life prove to be too much? As the dust settles on William's bold power play, the royal family stands on the brink of a new era. The rise of William and Catherine has shifted the balance of power, and the once unshakable traditions of the monarchy are being tested like never before. Princess Charlotte's journey through this transition will be pivotal, as she navigates the challenges of a rapidly evolving institution. The choices she makes now will determine not only her legacy, but also the future of the monarchy itself. The world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. The royal household has spent years carefully crafting her public image, presenting her as poised, mature, and ready for the responsibilities she will inevitably face. Yet William's bold decisions have made her role far more complex, and Charlotte now faces a crossroads that could define her place in the monarchy for decades to come. As William and Catherine rise in prominence, Princess Charlotte is left to wonder what this means for her future. Once seen as part of the supporting cast to her older brother, Prince George, Charlotte is now being viewed in a new light. Her father's modern vision for the monarchy means that the expectations placed upon her are evolving. No longer just a child in the background, Charlotte is increasingly positioned as a key figure in the monarchy's future. But the question remains: how will she respond to the shifting tides of power within her family? The monarchy has always been defined by its ability to adapt to the times, but this transition has been anything but smooth. The silent tension between the older and younger generations of royals is impossible to ignore, and Princess Charlotte's reaction to her father's decisions has captured the public's attention. While Charlotte has often been praised for her grace and maturity beyond her years, the world is watching closely as this story unfolds. The pressure on William to lead the royal family into a new era is immense, but the challenges facing Princess Charlotte are equally significant. As her father consolidates power and reshapes the institution, Charlotte must find her place in this new world. Will she rise to the occasion and embrace her role, or will she resist the forces pulling her in multiple directions? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. Princess Charlotte's journey is far from over, and the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance.
If you look at the coronation footage, as the king and queen leave the thrones and head for the exit of Westminster Abbey on the coronation Saturday, you'll see that everyone bows and curtsies to the king, and no one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla. Camilla brought 20 Parker Bowleses to the coronation. There were 4 Middletons. All the people that helped Camilla get the crown on her head were excluded from that coronation, and they were furious. And not only that, Kate and William were angry too. And that anger, of course, Harry was angry, that anger went right through that small part of the congregation by the throne, by the centre of Westminster Abbey.
Princess Kate's refusal to curtsy to Queen Camilla during a recent public event has become a focal point of royal watchers and media alike, triggering a wave of speculation about what might be going on behind the closed doors of the British royal family. This incident, while seemingly minor, has brought to light the complexities of royal protocol, the relationships between senior royals, and the public's fascination with even the smallest gestures within the monarchy. For centuries, the British royal family has been steeped in tradition, with every move, gesture, and word often carrying significant weight. The act of curtsying, in particular, is more than just a polite gesture. It is a deeply symbolic act of respect and acknowledgement of rank within the royal hierarchy. The sight of Princess Kate, the wife of the future king, choosing not to curtsy to the current queen consort, was therefore a moment loaded with potential meaning. Observers at the event noted that as the royal family gathered, there was a palpable tension in the air. All eyes were on Kate as she approached Queen Camilla. Traditionally, as the Princess of Wales, Kate would be expected to show deference to Camilla, who, as Queen Consort, holds a higher rank. However, instead of the customary curtsy, Kate merely nodded politely before continuing on her way. The deviation from protocol was subtle, but in the world of royalty, where every gesture is scrutinized, it was enough to set off a flurry of rumors and discussions. Some insiders suggest that Kate's decision may have been influenced by a series of recent events that have strained her relationship with Camilla. It's no secret that the royal family has faced numerous challenges over the years, from the death of Princess Diana to the ongoing struggles with public perception and the media. These challenges have, at times, created rifts between different members of the family, and it's possible that these tensions are now playing out in public view. One potential source of tension could be the differing approaches Kate and Camilla have taken toward their royal duties. Kate, known for her modern approach and emphasis on mental health and children's issues, has become a beloved figure in the UK and beyond. Her calm demeanor and dedication to her role have won her widespread praise, particularly among the younger generation of royal watchers. On the other hand, Camilla's journey to becoming Queen Consort has been fraught with challenges, including her long and controversial relationship with King Charles, which was initially met with public skepticism. Over time, Camilla has worked hard to carve out her own role within the monarchy, focusing on issues such as domestic violence and literacy. Despite their different approaches, both women are united by their commitment to the monarchy and their families. However, the recent incident suggests that there may be underlying differences in how they view their roles and each other. Some sources close to the royal family have hinted that there may have been disagreements over how certain royal duties should be handled or how public appearances should be managed, leading to a build-up of tension that finally surfaced in this public moment. This isn't the first time that the British royal family has found itself at the center of public scrutiny due to interpersonal dynamics. The relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Diana, for example, was often portrayed as complex, with Diana's popularity and modern approach sometimes clashing with the traditionalism of the monarchy. Similarly, the relationship between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and the rest of the royal family has been a source of intense media interest and public debate, particularly after the couple's decision to step back from their royal duties and the subsequent revelations about their experiences within the family. In many ways, the monarchy's public image is shaped as much by these personal relationships as by official duties and public engagements. The British public, and indeed people around the world, have a deep fascination with the royal family, viewing them not just as leaders, but as symbols of continuity, tradition, and national identity. As such, any sign of discord or deviation from the norm within the family is often magnified, leading to intense speculation and debate. The incident involving Kate and Camilla has also highlighted the challenges that come with navigating the complex world of royal protocol. While the rules and traditions of the monarchy are designed to maintain order and respect, they can also be a source of tension, particularly when personal feelings come into play. In this case, Kate's decision not to curtsy may have been a way of asserting her own identity and independence within the rigid structure of the royal family. The British royal family, with all its grandeur and tradition, is often seen as a symbol of continuity and stability in a rapidly changing world. Yet incidents like the one involving Princess Kate and Queen Camilla reveal the human side of this storied institution, where personal relationships and emotions intersect with the demands of duty and protocol. The refusal to curtsy might seem like a small act, but in the context of royal life, it carries significant weight, shedding light on the complexities and challenges that come with being part of such a unique and scrutinized family. As the public and media continue to speculate on the meaning behind this moment, it serves as a reminder that the royals, despite their elevated status, are not immune to the intricacies of personal dynamics. The balance between upholding tradition and navigating modern relationships is a delicate one, and this incident underscores the ongoing evolution of the monarchy as it seeks to remain relevant in the 21st century. In the coming years, as Kate and other younger royals take on more prominent roles, moments like these will likely shape how they are perceived both within the family and by the public. Will they adhere strictly to tradition, or will they seek to redefine their roles in a way that reflects their own values and the changing expectations of society? The answer to this question will play a crucial role in determining the future of the monarchy. For now, this incident stands as a moment of reflection, not just for the royal family, but for all who follow their story. It highlights the ongoing tension between personal feelings and public expectations, a theme that has run through the history of the British monarchy. As the world watches how this situation unfolds, it will be interesting to see how the royal family navigates this latest challenge and what it reveals about the future direction of the institution. Ultimately, the story of the British royal family is one of endurance, adaptation, and the constant balancing act between tradition and change. In a shocking turn of events, King Charles III has stepped down from his role as the monarch of the British royal family. This unprecedented move has sent shockwaves through the United Kingdom and around the world. Camilla, Queen Consort, has reportedly been deeply affected by this development, with sources close to the palace describing her as being in tears. This decision marks a significant moment in British history, altering the future of the monarchy in ways that were previously unimaginable. The announcement came after a series of private meetings within the royal family, leading to the king's official abdication. The news of King Charles III stepping down as the monarch of the British royal family has reverberated across the globe, marking a historic moment in the centuries-old institution. This decision, which has taken many by surprise, was made following a series of private discussions within the royal family. The gravity of the situation is evident, as sources close to Buckingham Palace have revealed that Queen Consort Camilla has been deeply moved by the decision, with reports indicating that she has been brought to tears by the turn of events. King Charles' decision to abdicate has not only shaken the foundations of the monarchy, but has also left the public and royal watchers in a state of disbelief. After years of waiting in the wings, as the heir apparent, Charles ascended to the throne, following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. His reign, though short, has been marked by attempts to modernize the monarchy and address the changing dynamics of British society. However, his decision to step down comes as a significant departure from royal tradition, where abdications are rare and often carry considerable implications. In the days leading up to the announcement, there were whispers of tension and uncertainty within the royal household. Insiders have suggested that Charles faced mounting pressure, both from within the family and from external forces, to reconsider his role. The king's health, public opinion, and the future of the monarchy were reportedly central to these discussions. Despite the challenges, many believed that Charles would continue to fulfill his duties as monarch. However, the final decision to abdicate indicates the weight of the considerations he had to bear. Camilla, who has stood by Charles's side for decades, is said to have been particularly affected by the decision. As Queen Consort, she has faced her own share of public scrutiny and challenges. The prospect of Charles stepping down from the throne has added a personal dimension to the situation, amplifying the emotional toll it has taken on her. Those close to the couple have described Camilla as being visibly distressed, struggling to come to terms with the new reality of their lives. Her tears are a testament to the profound impact this decision has had on those within the royal circle. The implications of King Charles's abdication are vast and complex. For the royal family, it means a sudden shift in the line of succession, with Prince William now poised to take on the role of king sooner than anticipated. This change is likely to have far-reaching consequences for the monarchy, as William's vision for the future may differ significantly from that of his father. The British public, too, is grappling with the news as they come to terms with the idea of another transition in leadership so soon after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Internationally, the decision has prompted reactions from world leaders and royal families across the globe. The British monarchy has long been a symbol of continuity and stability, and the abdication of a sitting monarch is a rare and significant event. Allies and observers alike are now closely watching the developments in the UK, seeking to understand the motivations behind Charles's decision and what it means for the future of one of the world's most well-known institutions. In the wake of the announcement, the media has been abuzz with speculation and analysis.
Diana has in fact been killed in that car accident.
In a shocking twist, the royal family has dropped a bombshell that could shake centuries-old traditions. Whispers are already swirling around Buckingham Palace as insiders tease a once-in-a-lifetime revelation that nobody saw coming. Could this monumental development rewrite royal protocols and forever alter the course of the monarchy? Join us as we dive into the intrigue surrounding this historic announcement. Princess Diana's Letter and Secrets. A jaw-dropping revelation from Buckingham Palace has left royal watchers reeling. The rediscovery of a letter from Princess Diana herself. Buried for decades and now thrust into the spotlight, it hints at a clandestine secret that could challenge the very pillars of royal tradition. While full details remain obscured, sources claim that this remarkable document touches on Diana's deepest fears, her relentless emotional struggles, and anxieties about powerful figures who might have targeted her. With the royal family's surprise disclosure, people everywhere are once again scrutinizing Diana's life through a brand new lens. Even during her lifetime, Diana's personal letters were known for their raw honesty. Cartons of private notes once kept under lock and key now appear to confirm the intensity of her anguish and her suspicion that she was at risk. In the months before her tragic death, Diana openly worried about being subjected to a staged car crash, maintaining that such an incident might be orchestrated by those threatened by her activism and relentless media presence. Deemed paranoid by some and prophetic by others, these fears echoed through her final days, cutting a stark contrast to her graceful public persona. Shadows of these revelations first surfaced when her trusted butler, Paul Burrell, faced legal obstacles for safeguarding Diana's belongings. Although he was accused of theft, Queen Elizabeth II's intervention clarified that he had, in fact, been entrusted with many of Diana's personal effects, including letters. Some believe that the newly revealed letter may substantiate Diana's dread of sinister plots designed to silence her. It's no wonder that the royal family's recent announcement has ignited a flurry of speculation, inspiring questions about what else might be hidden behind palace walls. Meanwhile, Diana's humanitarian legacy resonates more powerfully than ever. The same woman who braved minefields in Angola and shattered prejudices surrounding HIV/AIDS was, behind the scenes, wrestling with heartbreak, fear, and betrayal. These latest documents suggest that she harbored confidences so sensitive that, if exposed earlier, they could have shaken the monarchy to its foundation. Now, with the royal family's surprising public acknowledgement of this mysterious letter, the world is eager to see if its contents will validate long, swirling conspiracy theories, or simply add another tragic layer to Diana's story. Diana and Charles's relationship. In a stunning development, the royal family just announced a shocking discovery linked to Princess Diana, one that has reignited fascination with her complicated marriage to Prince Charles. After years of speculation and rumors, the new information has people revisiting every detail of their relationship, from its fairy tale beginning to the heartbreak that ultimately defined it. Diana Spencer met Charles through her older sister, Lady Sarah Spencer, in the late 1970s. At the time, Charles was fresh from a brief courtship with Sarah, which ended amid candid remarks about not not wishing to marry him. Little did anyone suspect that this chance introduction would blossom into one of the most famous romances in royal history. Despite being just 19 when their relationship began, Diana quickly discovered the challenges of loving a man still ensnared by the memory of his ex-girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. Her private world soon filled with doubts. In one television interview, Charles's response to whether he truly loved Diana, whatever love means, only deepened her unease and sense of insecurity. On July 29, 1981, their wedding at St. Paul's Cathedral dazzled a global audience of over 750 million. Yet beneath the veil of jubilation, Diana sensed an emotional distance between them. She suspected that Camilla lingered in Charles's heart. Over time, these feelings hardened into despair, particularly once they were married, and Diana realized how real that emotional bond remained. The strains within their marriage didn't stay hidden for long. Diana, feeling increasingly lonely and overlooked, shockingly threw herself down the stairs while pregnant, desperate for Charles's attention. His lukewarm response to her distress left her feeling more isolated than ever. That sense of betrayal intensified when Diana came to believe that there were 3 of us in the marriage. Learning to navigate her royal duties offered some respite. Diana's warmth endeared her to millions worldwide, who admired her compassion for the sick and vulnerable. Yet even as she won hearts through her humanitarian work, she battled emotional turmoil behind palace walls. Her BBC Panorama interview in 1995 made it plain she felt alone, overshadowed, and anxious about Camilla's unspoken role in Charles's life. While the fairy tale ceremony had promised happily ever after, reality brought heartbreak. By 1992, Diana and Charles separated, officially divorcing 4 years later. The public spectacle of their split confirmed the depth of their marital strife. Amid the pressures of royal life, Diana's longing for emotional security proved impossible to fulfill. The wedding of the century. The wedding of the century, Princess Diana and Prince Charles's 1981 nuptials, dazzled an international audience, and now the royal family's astonishing new announcement has once again cast fresh light on that iconic day. Nearly 750 million people across the globe tuned in to watch Diana, a demure 19-year-old, pledge her vows to the heir to the British throne. The broadcast was filled with pageantry and pomp, horse-drawn carriages, gleaming military uniforms, and one of the most memorable wedding gowns ever seen. Even decades later, that billowing ivory silk dress, with its 25-foot train, remains an enduring symbol of fairy tale romance. Yet behind the scenes, Diana privately wrestled with doubts. She had long sensed that Charles's heart belonged elsewhere, that he'd never truly let go of his past with Camilla Parker Bowles. Despite this misgiving, the pressure of royal duty and her own inexperience compelled her to push these fears aside. On the surface, the wedding was a perfect spectacle of Union Jack bunting, trumpets, and adoring crowds. World leaders, celebrities, and aristocrats from around the globe filled St. Paul's Cathedral, a testament to the significance of what the public believed to be a joyous match. The newly released royal documents, however, suggest there was more tension behind the pomp and circumstance than previously known. Insiders hint that letters written by Diana around this time reveal a young bride bracing herself against a wave of uncertainty. Far from the storybook ceremony presented to the world, she felt overshadowed by Charles's lingering affection for Camilla. Rumors now claim that Diana's notes detail apprehension about exactly how welcome she was within palace walls, and the emotional toll she feared that day would take on her. Still, none of these private worries managed to dull Diana's remarkable poise as she walked down the aisle. Her infectious warmth shone through the ceremonial grandeur, earning her instant worldwide admiration. Long after the ceremony concluded, the honeymoon headlines continued to feed the relentless tabloids, all enthralled by the image of a shy kindergarten teacher transformed into a global icon overnight. For many, the wedding of the century stands as a bittersweet memory of what might have been. The stirring orchestras, the sea of well-wishers on London streets, and the hushed awe that accompanied the couple's vows still captivate royal watchers everywhere. Now, as the newly announced revelations rekindle curiosity about the wedding's unspoken drama, observers can't help but wonder whether this epic-making event was destined to foreshadow the stormy years that lay ahead. Struggles in the marriage. A bombshell announcement from the royal family has once again thrown the spotlight on Princess Diana's tumultuous life, particularly the painful struggles of her marriage to Prince Charles. For decades, the public has been mesmerized by their grand wedding and the fairy tale image that followed. Yet beneath the glittering veneer, Diana faced profound emotional battles that shaped her journey and ultimately laid bare the cracks in one of history's most scrutinized unions. From the start, Diana was plagued with insecurities about Charles's ongoing affection for his ex-girlfriend, Camilla Parker Bowles. Even in the early days of their courtship, references to Camilla would hang in the air, leaving Diana feeling dwarfed by her husband's emotional history. The mismatch of their ages, she was 19, he 32, only highlighted a divide in priorities. While she hoped for an affectionate match, Charles seemed conflicted, famously uttering whatever love means when asked if he truly loved Diana. As newlyweds, they momentarily played the roles expected of them, appearing at formal engagements with bright smiles that masked Diana's growing sense of isolation. Behind palace doors, Diana increasingly longed for recognition and reassurance from Charles. This longing peaked when she was pregnant with Prince William, and in a moment of despair, threw herself down the stairs in an attempt to provoke the empathy she felt her husband withheld. Instead of finding the compassion she desperately needed, she encountered a chilling indifference. Over time, Diana's anguish grew. She spoke of feeling like an outsider trapped within ancient protocols and watchful eyes. Her greatest heartbreak, she later confessed in a landmark BBC Panorama interview, was Charles's enduring closeness to Camilla. That searing admission, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," became an iconic snapshot of Diana's struggles. It conveyed not only the pain of perceived betrayal, but the loneliness of a young woman thrust into the global spotlight with few genuine allies. Seeking solace, Diana channeled her energy into humanitarian causes, forging meaningful connections with the public at every turn. Yet even as the world hailed her as the people's princess, she returned each night to a private sphere dominated by tension and suspicion, unable to heal what she saw as a broken bond. Ultimately, these unresolved issues, combined with constant media intrusion, proved insurmountable. In 1992, Diana and Charles announced their separation, finalizing their divorce 4 years later. Now, with this startling new royal family disclosure, the world is eager to learn whether Diana left behind fresh insights into those turbulent years of marriage. For so long, her struggles were wrapped in rumors and official narratives. Diana's famous BBC Panorama interview, Princess Diana's 1995 BBC Panorama interview, remains one of the most shocking and revealing moments in modern royal history. And now, the royal family's recent bombshell announcement has renewed interest in that explosive broadcast. At the time, it felt like the entire world stopped to hear Diana break her silence on her troubled marriage and emotional battles behind palace doors. She spoke candidly, radiating a mixture of vulnerability and strength that captivated millions of viewers who were unaccustomed to such naked honesty from a member of the royal household. In the interview, Diana addressed her unhappiness, telling the now infamous story of feeling trapped in a marriage overshadowed by her husband's ongoing connection to Camilla Parker Bowles. Her most quoted line, "There were 3 of us in this marriage," instantly etched itself into history. It confirmed lingering suspicions that Prince Charles's affections lay elsewhere, casting Diana as a lonely figure caught in an arrangement that lacked the comfort and stability she had hoped for. Yet what truly stunned the public was Diana's admission of her own struggles, including incidents of self-harm and severe emotional distress. At one point, she recounted throwing herself down the stairs while pregnant, desperate for Charles's attention. The heartbreak in her voice spoke volumes, amplifying the sense that her pleas for empathy had gone largely unheard. Far from the cheerful, confident princess glimpsed in official photographs, Diana emerged as a woman grappling with relentless media pressure, royal protocol, and a profound sense of isolation. Critics were quick to brand her as manipulative or attention-seeking, but her supporters saw a brave soul refusing to be silenced any longer. The interview not only redefined her public image, but also marked a watershed moment for the royal family. No longer confined by centuries of unspoken codes, Diana unapologetically peeled back the curtain. She displayed the raw reality of royal life, not merely a glittering spectacle of tiaras and galas, but also a claustrophobic environment where personal pain too often festered in private shadows. Today, speculation abounds that the royal family's latest startling announcement involves rediscovered commentary or documentation surrounding Diana's panorama revelations. Could there be more details, hidden for decades, that amplify her words about betrayal and heartbreak? This possibility has jolted public curiosity all over again. Echoes of that interview, Diana's luminous eyes, her measured tone, and her stark confessions, remain just as resonant now, decades later. Whatever emerges next, that 1995 broadcast will forever be remembered as the moment Diana found her voice and shattered the myth of the unassailable monarchy. Humanitarian efforts. Princess Diana's acts of kindness and courage remain emblematic of a royal figure who chose empathy over tradition, and now, with the royal family's unexpected announcement, her humanitarian efforts are back in the global discourse. Even as she endured personal struggles, feeling overshadowed in her marriage and hounded by relentless press, Diana channeled her pain into caring for the most vulnerable. Her bravery shone through in 1987, when fear and confusion about HIV/AIDS were rampant. Diana famously shook hands with an AIDS patient without gloves, an extraordinary gesture that shattered misconceptions about the virus's transmission. That single act sent a powerful message. Compassion and knowledge could overcome public hysteria. It also aligned her with a marginalized community desperate for understanding and support, demonstrating that real change could be sparked by empathy at the highest levels of society. 10 years later, in 1997, She made global headlines again by walking through an active minefield in Angola to highlight the perils of landmines. Her willingness to face danger in order to champion a critical cause inspired worldwide admiration. This brave move helped spur international efforts toward banning these hidden threats, culminating in the Ottawa Treaty, which outlawed the use of landmines. Now, as the royal family hints at new insights involving Diana, the world is reminded of what made her truly extraordinary. Her compassion transcended palace protocols. Diana's tragic death. A new royal announcement has reignited interest in one of the most heartbreaking chapters in modern history, the tragic death of Princess Diana. The shock of her passing on August 31, 1997, was felt around the world. Yet it's the circumstances and secrets still emerging all these years later that continue to stir debate. According to fresh details, Diana may have harbored greater fears than the public ever knew, fears that could recast our understanding of what really happened in that fateful tunnel in Paris. On the surface, her fatal car crash appeared to be the ultimate result of a high-speed chase by paparazzi, intent on capturing intimate snapshots as she and her companion, Dodi Fayed, sought a moment of peace away from relentless flashing cameras. Their driver, Henri Paul, was later found to have been intoxicated, and an investigation concluded that a lethal mix of speeding, alcohol, and lack of seatbelt use led to the collision, killing Diana, Dodi, and Henri Paul almost instantly. Only Diana's bodyguard survived, though with serious injuries. The entire world reeled from the news, unified in shock and grief. Yet over the years, whispers of conspiracy refused to fade. Diana's former butler, Paul Burrell, would later claim she penned a letter expressing her deep concern that someone might orchestrate a car accident to silence her. Initially dismissed as rumor, this unsettling notion found renewed life in the context of the endless swirl of paparazzi, political tensions, and the oddities surrounding that night's final moments. When Queen Elizabeth II intervened to stop legal charges against Burrell after he was found to be in possession of Diana's belongings, it only added another layer of complexity to her already tragic story. Questions surrounding Diana's death have never quite settled. While official inquiries consistently determined that the crash was an accident, the people's princess had become so beloved and so entwined in the hearts of millions that her death felt almost too cruel to be explained by a simple twist of fate. Could the newly announced revelations shine a brighter light on records or letters from that time? Might they confirm or debunk the theories that powerful forces sought to curb Diana's influence on humanitarian causes and her willingness to speak out? For many, Diana's legacy of compassion, exemplified by her work with HIV/AIDS patients and her courageous stand against landmines, demonstrated a fearless altruism, one that may have garnered as many admirers as critics. She was the vibrant spirit who redefined what it meant to be royal, and in doing so, may have stirred forces beyond her control. Now, with the royal family's startling disclosure, we find ourselves once again pondering the unanswered questions that surround Diana's tragic death, wondering if this time we might finally learn the truth she feared would remain hidden. Paul Burrell's role. Paul Burrell's name has been thrust back into the spotlight with the royal family's latest announcement, prompting renewed interest in his extraordinary connection to Princess Diana. Originally a young footman at Buckingham Palace, Burrell steadily earned the trust of senior royals, eventually becoming Diana's butler and personal assistant. He witnessed her remarkable charitable work, her tension-filled marriage to Prince Charles, and her heart-wrenching struggles with loneliness. Over time, the two formed a bond that far surpassed the conventional role of employee and employer. His devotion did not end with her tragic passing in 1997. Following Diana's death, Burrell emerged as a fervent guardian of her memory, claiming that she had entrusted him with safeguarding personal belongings and letters. This commitment drew him into the harsh glare of media and legal scrutiny when, in 2002, he stood accused of stealing over 30,000 items from her estate. The resulting court case riveted the public's attention and threatened to tarnish his reputation. In a dramatic twist, Queen Elizabeth II confirmed she knew Burrell had been keeping Diana's possessions, and the charges against him were dropped. Burrell's subsequent revelations, however, proved equally explosive. He insisted Diana harbored fears of a staged car crash meant to silence her, sparking lingering questions about the circumstances that led to her fatal accident. Critics dismissed him as an opportunist, profiteering from her life and death through interviews and books. Supporters argued he was fulfilling her wish to share truths she felt would otherwise remain buried. Today, as rumors swirl of newly discovered documents from Diana's final years, Burrell's role is being re-examined. Was he a loyal confidant preserving her legacy, or an eager storyteller capitalizing on her fame? Whatever fresh details may emerge, one fact is undeniable. Paul Burrell had unprecedented access to Diana's inner world, making him central to the ongoing intrigue surrounding her extraordinary life. Conspiracy theories and Diana's fears. Princess Diana's life and untimely death have long been caught in a web of rumors and speculation, and the royal family's latest bombshell announcement has brought those intense debates back to center stage. Many of these theories stem from Diana's own letters, in which she expressed fears that powerful figures would orchestrate a staged car accident to silence her. Although official inquiries blamed her tragic passing in 1997 on speeding, an intoxicated driver, and paparazzi in pursuit, conspiracy theorists point to Diana's personal anxieties as evidence that something more sinister might have been afoot. Paul Burrell, Diana's former butler and close confidant, claimed that she confided these concerns to him privately. According to Burrell, Diana believed her activism on global issues and her willingness to challenge royal protocol could have ruffled powerful feathers. It didn't help that she felt isolated by some members of the royal family and openly struggled with the relentless attention from the press. Burrell's later revelations about a letter in which Diana purportedly warned of a plot to cause a serious car accident reignited the public's fascination with her death. Critics of conspiracy theories argue that the facts point to an unfortunate yet straightforward tragedy. On that fateful night, Diana and Dodi Fayed attempted to slip past the paparazzi by departing from the Ritz Hotel's back entrance. Their driver, Henri Paul, was found to be thrice over the legal alcohol limit and driving at breakneck speed, an unsafe choice that proved deadly. Diana's bodyguard, Trevor Rees-Jones, was the only survivor, and while some wonder if he might hold keys to a hidden truth, official investigations concluded that the accident was, in fact, caused by reckless driving, nothing more. Yet uncertainty lingers. The intense global mourning that followed Diana's death elevated her to a near-mythical status, fueling speculation that fate alone could not have taken her life so abruptly. Her humanitarian work, specifically her outspoken involvement in controversial causes such as anti-landmine campaigns, had placed her squarely on the world stage. Some conspiracy theorists believe that these altruistic actions and the influence she began to wield posed a threat to entrenched interests, prompting a plot to remove her. Whether one believes in foul play or in the simpler explanation of a tragic accident, Diana's fears remain a significant chapter in her story. She was vocal in her letters about real concerns for her safety, and her vulnerability in sharing these thoughts with trusted confidants endears her to admirers decades after her passing. With the royal family's recent revelations stirring speculation anew, it's clear that conversations about Diana's life and her lingering apprehensions are far from over. Diana's legacy. Princess Diana's legacy continues to captivate, especially now in light of the royal family's latest announcement hinting at revelations no one expected. She came onto the world stage as a shy teenager, marrying the future king, yet emerged as a transformative force whose compassion and authenticity redefined what it meant to be royal. To millions, she wasn't just a figure in a tiara, she was the people's princess, tirelessly championing causes often overlooked by those in power. Behind the grandeur of the 1981 wedding of the century, Diana's personal struggles foreshadowed her determination to create genuine human connections. Growing up, she had lived a relatively quiet life, but found herself thrust into an archaic system bound by complex rules and centuries-old traditions. Despite her own crises, feeling overshadowed by Prince Charles's attachment to Camilla Parker Bowles, and wrestling with bouts of loneliness, Diana channeled her vulnerabilities into empathy for others. This approach led her to groundbreaking humanitarian efforts, such as supporting HIV/AIDS patients at a time when misinformation and fear prevailed. Her famous gesture of shaking hands without gloves broke taboos and inspired a worldwide shift in attitudes. Diana's fearlessness only grew, culminating in her historic walk through an active minefield in Angola in 1997. That courageous act brought a crucial issue to global attention, propelling the movement to ban landmines. Through these public acts of compassion, Diana brought monarchy closer to the people by showing that a royal figure could be warm, relatable, and unafraid of diving into pressing social causes. Tragically, her story ended far too soon on a Paris roadway, leaving behind unanswered questions about who might have sought to undermine her. Even in death, her spirit continues to resonate. The sudden disclosure from the royal family has reignited interest. Might Diana have left behind secrets that deepen our understanding of her passions and fears? Regardless of new revelations, Diana's extraordinary empathy, quick smile, and willingness to stand with the marginalized remain her defining gifts to the world. In many ways, her legacy outshines any lingering intrigue, reminding us that an open heart can inspire sweeping change. Across time and distance, people remember Diana not just for her title, but for how she illuminated social injustices and strove to mend them, proving that even amid royal pomp, it is empathy that truly reigns supreme.